Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey guys, this is Steve Roy, host of the Fit Dad Nation podcast. Thanks for listening. I appreciate your time. I really do. I know there's a lot of shows out there, a lot of fitness advice, a lot of dad advice. So I do honestly appreciate you taking your time, which I know is valuable, to tune into what I have to say. Now, before I jump into what I want to talk about, I just want to share a couple things. One, we are 22 days into our Project 45 challenge. We started at the beginning of September. And the results I'm seeing so far are pretty awesome. We've got a bunch of guys doing it right now. And what it is, it's just a 45-day challenge. It's a very strict no-cheat challenge, kind of modeled after, you've probably heard of the 75 hard. You probably heard of that challenge. It's pretty popular. It's making its rounds online. And so it's sort of similar to that, not quite as stringent. Obviously, it's not as long. It's 45 days, not 75 days. You've got some daily to-dos every day. But it's really about consistency. And at the end of the day, that's one of the things that we struggle with most as dads, is being consistent. And so this challenge in particular, we don't do many that are very super strict. You know, this one's really holding guys to their commitments, and just 3 weeks into it, we've seen guys, they're averaging 5 to 10 pounds or so down, which is a huge win. Plus all the non-scale victories, more energy, smaller pants, feeling better, all of those things that come with it. And really, at the end of the day, in my opinion, the big factor here is not only their commitment to all 45 days, but it's the brotherhood, it's the accountability that's taking part in our group, which is facilitating this whole thing. So, as much as I'd love to say it's me as such a stellar coach for all of this, I would say the biggest piece for the men is being part of a tribe of guys that are doing the same things they are. They're struggling with the same things that they are, coming up against the same hurdles. And so they get to share that amongst each other, and we're doing it in a team format where each man has one individual accountability partner. So anyway, this is just one thing that I'm really proud of as part of our Inner Circle program. I'm actually making some major changes to it, updates. There's going to be a lot more structure to the program itself. So I really honestly built this for the dad that struggles with the day-to-day. The dad that really is ready to take action on becoming healthier, becoming fit, kind of getting his confidence back, all those things, and doesn't really know where to start, the best way to approach it all, how to eat, and so the Inner Circle was built for the guy that can log in and see not only all of the resources inside there, the things that would help him as a dad, but having a group of guys. Right now we have more than 50 men in the group working together, and so yeah. So if that's you, if you're listening to this and you're like, I'm really I'm kind of missing that piece of it, the accountability, the structure, and the tribe aspect of guys working together, apply to our group. We'll set up a time to chat just to make sure that it's a good fit. But you can find more information about that at fitdadnation.com/inner circle. And so today, I was actually looking through some old information I have. So I keep a spreadsheet. And I mentioned this last week, as I keep a spreadsheet with data from past polls and surveys that I've run over the last 5 years or so. And I was looking for trends, looking for kind of recurring themes, and a bunch stood out. And so what I decided to talk about today was, at the end of the day, I'm looking at all this data, and I have got thousands of data points here. At the end of the day, really, all the stuff that I'm seeing, and this is basically in a nutshell, and you can probably identify with 1, 2, or 10 of these. So think about this, right? When you're saying, if I ask you a question, say, What's the number one struggle you're having right now as a dad trying to get fit or stay fit? This is what men are saying. Not enough time, not enough money. I don't have equipment. I don't have enough energy. I don't have any motivation. I don't know how to get started. I have trouble staying consistent. I don't know how to eat right. I can't seem to stick to a plan. I can't seem to stay on track. I don't have any support. I'm too tired at the end of the day. I have trouble with late night snacking or binge eating, beer, soda, too many carbs, not seeing any results in quitting, not getting enough sleep, and I just can't lose weight. And so that's a whole bunch of stuff, right? And honestly, I could and probably should do a show on each one of those individually because I can go pretty deep on all of those. But instead of that, I just want you to just kind of think about what I just said. And like I said, I've got thousands of guys who have given me anonymous answers over the years. And those, whatever, I don't know how many things there were, whatever I just said, 10, 15 things were common, probably could make up 50 or 60% at least, or more of all the answers. So that's important stuff. And so what I'm going to tell you is, number one, honestly, these are every single one of them is an excuse. And so, I'm not going to sit here and beat you up and say, you need to be stronger than your stronger excuses. I actually have that poster on my wall, which is true, but that doesn't really help you. And so what I'm going to tell you is, I want you to think about people like Gary Vaynerchuk, right? David Goggins, Jocko Willink, right? Those guys, obviously are very popular on social. They've got very successful businesses, but they are all far busier than you or I, and they also all get way more done every day than we do, right? All three of them right there that I just named, and the list could go on and on. They train every single day. They dedicate time and energy to their health. I know Jocko has a bunch of kids. I know Gary has kids. It's really just about, getting past all the things you're telling yourself, like I just said. Oh, I don't have the time. I'm so busy, right? I don't have any equipment. I don't know what to do. Here's the thing, right? You already know, and I want you to think about this and listen closely. You already know everything you need to know about losing your fat gut, losing your man boobs, losing your back fat, right? Getting into shape, all the things that you're trying to do, right? You want to get stronger, you want to get leaner. All of those things, unless you've been living in a cave for the last 20 years, you know what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not doing it, right? And the funny thing is many of you have already done it at least once, if not more, at some point in your life. Like you've gotten into shape or you were in shape. And so, right, we get into 30s and 40s, and all these excuses that I talked about earlier come right up, and that's what takes over. And I'm not beating you up because I've been there many times. I've struggled for years. I did it for a very long time, and I totally understand it. It's not as simple as saying, man the fuck up and just do it. Push back your excuses. If Jocko can do it, so can you, right? That's great on paper. Doesn't work in real life, at least not for more than a couple of days. So, I want you to think about this, right? If it were as easy as, people would like to say it is, okay, let's just suck it up, push back your excuses, we'd all be fit. You'd be fit already. You wouldn't be listening to the show probably, right? I'd be out of a job. A million other fitness coaches would be out of a job, right? So I don't want to trivialize what we do as fitness coaches or fitness professionals, because obviously there's a lot of nuances, there's a lot of other things that go into coaching and proper programming and all those things. But at the very core of everything, you do already know everything that you need to know about getting into the shape that you want to get into, right? You might not be able to figure out how to get down to 6% body fat or whatever it is, but for the vast majority of men that I meet and coach, they're not looking to run triathlons and do Tough Mudders in record time. They're looking to slim down, look better, feel happy about taking their shirt off, have more and better sex with their wife, feel confident and feel attractive to other women or women in general, including their spouse, obviously. This is the things that men want. They want more energy. They want to be better role models for their kids. They want to have the energy to play with their kids, right? And who doesn't? And I've never met a man that doesn't want to feel awesome about taking his shirt off. I mean, it's just innate. It's right. It's an innate natural thing. We want it. We want that. It's a primal thing. So I want to talk about a couple of things here that I want to kind of focus on. So all those things I talked about earlier, as I said, I could seriously do a whole show on each one of them, and I actually have. I did a whole show on sleep. I did a whole show on energy. Last week, I did a whole podcast episode on motivation, so certainly listen to those. What I want to talk to number one is probably at the very top of the list, at least in the top couple. It's eating habits, eating healthy, or sticking to a diet. And that's something that we as dads, we struggle with. And it's because, right, we're not dedicating the time to plan out our meals. We eat whatever we kind of can. Many times we get home from work and we eat what's on the table. And you just don't want to spend the time. You feel like you don't have the time, but the reality is you just don't want to spend the time to plan accordingly and plan appropriately so you can, get the goals you want. I mean, that's ultimately what it comes down to, right? I've spent a lot of time planning, preparing, making sure that I have food when I need it, the right kind of food. Yeah, and it's a fucking pain in the ass. I'm not going to lie. It's a pain in the ass. It is. But there's no other way around it unless you have insane genetics and you can eat, lots of just regular American diet type food and see progress. And there are certainly those people out there. You're going to have to plan a little bit better than what's for dinner. Okay, I'll eat it. Right? That just doesn't work if your goal is to, drop a bunch of fat, get lean, add muscle, get fit, right? Those things that come with that, and I'm not talking about bodybuilder fit or CrossFit fit. I'm just talking about just pretty fit guy that you feel pretty happy, pretty comfortable in your body. The American diet doesn't work for that at all. So first thing I'll say is when you're trying to stick to a diet or even pick a diet or approach to eating, I will say that it has to have three things. One, it has to be healthy. Two, it has to get results. And three, it has to be sustainable. I will take the carnivore diet, for example. I'm a big fan of like Mark Bell. I had him on the show. Dr. Sean Baker, I had him on the show. Both big carnivore proponents. Dr. Baker he's the one that's kind of been the foremost expert on this, and he wrote the book Carnivore Diet. Anyway, a lot of people have jumped on the carnivore bandwagon. I have not tried it. I love meat, but I don't see how just eating nothing but meat and protein is even good. Like, it doesn't sound good. I'm not disputing any health claims, but I'm just saying it doesn't sound good. I like to have, rice or potatoes or something else, vegetables. I just don't like eating nothing but protein. But that's what these guys do. So does that meet the criteria? One, is it healthy? The verdict's out, but a lot of studies, at least short-term studies, have shown that, there's a lot of positive effects from it. Does it get results? Yes, people are losing a lot of weight, adding muscle, feeling great. But is it sustainable? Probably not. Now, it's probably sustainable for a very small percentage of the population. Same with like a keto diet or something that's super, super restrictive, even like a Whole30, which is still pretty restrictive. They all get results, right? They all can claim great results, which is what sells these programs. You can make a case that they're healthy. But I would argue that those diets, anything extreme, aren't sustainable for a vast majority of us. It's just not sustainable. Can you do it for a week, 2 weeks, a month, maybe a few months? Yes. Anybody can do that. Anyone that has enough willpower can stick to any diet for a short amount of time, right? But here's the thing. You're miserable. You're fucking miserable during it. That is not what health and fitness is about. It's not about sacrificing and being unhappy and dreading your next meal and going to bed starving. That is not what it's about at all. And so once you understand that and realize you can eat a lot of foods, you can really eat most things that you want, that's part of the problem is, we're told that doesn't work. So, I would say that when you're choosing any approach to eating, and again, I don't push any particular approach I personally like the Primal Blueprint, Mark Sisson's work. I'm a big fan of his research and his work over the years. I do really well on a primal diet. My clients that have tried it do very well on it. It's sustainable. It's not like you're eliminating everything that you love. But of course, you have to eliminate some things, or at least severely restrict some of the things that you know are not helping your progress, right? I mean, I have a really bad sweet tooth. I love soda, I love Pop-Tarts, and I love red vine licorice. Those three things, man. And yeah, if I ate those like I wanted to eat them, yes, it would set me back. It would hinder my progress for sure, because those things are high in calories and absolutely there's just nothing good for us in them. And so, just remember, you don't have to give up everything that you love. You don't need to sacrifice all those foods you grew up with, things that are, kind of tied to your childhood. There's some things that stick with us for a very long time. Okay, you don't have to give that up for the sake of weight loss. Okay, that doesn't work. But you do have to make better choices. And I would say, just keep it simple, right? Give up the things that you know are hurting your progress, right? Stop drinking soda. Stop going to Burger King. Stop going into a Royal Farms or Wawa and picking up, whatever it is, junk food, honey bun, sweetened iced tea, whatever is getting you through the next few hours. Plan a little bit better and just it's that simple, right? It really is. Just realize that you're not going to be able to eat all the shit that you love as much as you want and get results. But when choosing a diet, or I like to call it an approach to eating, which is a little bit better than the word diet. Remember, it needs to be healthy. It has to get you results, not other people. Anybody can fake a testimonial, and it has to be sustainable. Okay, remember that. If you hate vegetables, don't try a paleo diet. It's not going to work out for you. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, that's all I'll say about that. Second point I want to talk about is getting started. A lot of guys really struggle with the overwhelm, right? And in today's day and age, it's a fucking nightmare out there on social. I actually am really struggling with just getting on social media, especially Instagram, and seeing all the fucking garbage out there, all the bullshit advice that's being doled out, all these fake coaches and these 20-year-old, self-made, self-claimed millionaires, coaches, business coaches, nutrition coaches, all this shit, right? It's very easy to get overwhelmed, start comparing yourself to, why don't I look like that? Or why aren't I getting the results that his clients have? Or one of the main reasons one of the main reasons I rarely post photos of myself with my shirt off. Number one, it's kind of in my opinion, kind of a douchey thing to do. I mean, I'm 49 years old. I'm not trying to have flex showdown with anybody. And it's just, I feel like guys my age or, somewhere in the vicinity aren't looking to be like, wow, man, that guy's just so ripped. I wish I had those abs and I wish I had that. No, right? Yeah, of course you want to look good. Of course, right? But if you start looking at everybody's photos and, man, look at that guy and look at this and he's so strong, you're going to quit. It's going to psych you out before you even get started. And then there's so much information, right? There are plenty of good coaches out there, a lot of bad ones too. But yeah, it's easy to just go down the rabbit hole quickly on social or YouTube, where you watch one video and the next thing you know, there's 20 more just like it, and you're like, you can't stop. And now all of a sudden everybody's preaching, high rep, low rep, HIIT training and metabolic conditioning, 10 different types of diets, and it would never end if you just started watching a video right now. You'd watch them for the next 15 years straight, and you still would be getting more new content that said something else. So forget all that and just literally start where you're at. I mean, that's it. So I don't care if you can't run at all. If you can't run, start walking. If you can't do a single push-up, don't beat yourself up and call yourself a pussy. Do it from your knees, right? Make every single day a non-zero day. And this is something I had learned from an old member of one of our groups is, Every day, do something that improves your health and fitness in some way. That makes it a non-zero. If you don't do anything that you didn't do yesterday, that's a 0. If you do something, whether it's extra steps, whatever it is that improves your health, puts you just a little bit closer to your goals or making you feel better or healthier, that's a win, okay? Don't worry about what I'm doing. Don't worry about what Joe Schmo is doing, your neighbor, the guy doing P90X, whatever. That doesn't matter at all. Start where you're at. I've seen guys in their 40s that couldn't do a single push-up. They could barely walk, 500 yards without being out of breath. I've seen it all, and there's no shame in that. You've just let yourself go. Okay, take ownership of it. Right? Don't be embarrassed by it. You made other choices that led to that. Right? Something else was more important. Now, make a change, literally. Just think about that, okay? If you continue on the path that you've been on, yes, you're going to continue to get worse, weaker, fatter, all that stuff. Yeah. Is that what you want? No. And I will say, if you really need help getting started, find a group, find someone to hold you accountable, and just make sure that person or that group actually cares about your success. So, you may have to look a little bit. Some of your friends, especially your unfit friends, don't really want you to succeed, that deep jealousy thing. So be careful who you find to hold you accountable. Again, if you're looking for a tribe of guys that, is really positive and really kind of build one another up, take a look at our group. Our group is awesome. It's the Fit Dad Nation Inner Circle. And then lastly, I want to talk about time. So this one, pre-COVID, was at the top of the list. It was, I don't have enough time to train. I don't have enough time to exercise. I don't have enough time to cook meals. I don't have enough time to prepare meals, right? It's all about time. Now, I don't really hear that much anymore because most of us, right, are at home for the most part, a lot of us. And so with that said, I will say that if you think that you need to spend an inordinate amount of time, a ton of time training, preparing, it's this grueling process of getting fit. It's not. It's really not. And I'm not just saying this just because it's on my podcast. I'm saying my workouts are 30 minutes or less. Many are around 20 minutes. I'm 49. Even though I'm fit, I spend a lot of my time stretching, doing mobility, foam rolling, walking. And then, I train hard, but I keep my workouts very short, 20 to 30 minutes, typically 30 minutes or so for my strength training, 20 minutes or so for my conditioning work, which is my circuits, my HIIT training type of stuff. My hill sprints, are shorter than that, maybe 10 minutes. I've been doing it for years. I know if you tell me you don't have an extra 30 minutes in your day to take care of your number one asset, which is your number one investment is your body, you're lying, you're full of shit, and you're not committed. And that's fine. If that's not you, that's fine. I don't care either way. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not going to tell you that you need to do it because you don't. Only you can make that decision. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Some people aren't. And that's fine. Okay. So what is that? Let's call it 30 minutes a day. If you can't find that before work, middle of the day, or at night, you're not trying hard enough. Do it with your kids. Do it with your wife. Do it with a buddy at lunch. Do it by yourself in a park. Do it in your basement. Do it in your underwear. I don't care. I guarantee that 99% of you, and there are some people that just really don't have the time, and that is out there. I've seen guys working 3 jobs with 4 kids as a single parent. Yeah, you're gonna struggle with that kind of time. But for 99% of us, that's not the case. It's not a priority, and that's it. It's just not a priority. Okay? Make it a priority, you'll find the time. If it's not a priority, you won't. So, do it somewhere, and I don't care. Body weight stuff works wonders. I've got a bunch of resources on body weight training. Just check out fitdeadnation.com. You don't need to join a gym. You don't have to fill your garage with expensive equipment. You don't need fancy machines. You don't need a treadmill. You don't need a rower. None of that. Actually, most of my training, well, I won't say most, but a good part of it is body weight stuff, even though I have a couple of gyms I go to, and I have my garage is filled with a ton of equipment. Yeah, I take kettlebells out, my suspension trainer quite a bit, but oftentimes if I'm out and about with one of my kids, or they're on an appointment or something, or I'm waiting to pick up my daughter from school, I'll get out of my car and I'll go to the park and I'll make do, and it'll be a 15-minute workout, and that's fine. You're hitting it hard, you're being smart about it. 15 minutes is plenty. Okay, so just realize that you don't need a lot of time. And then as far as your food goes, you just have to put a little bit of energy into it, a little bit of effort. Okay, I've had so many guys tell me I can't do it. I can't eat well. I don't know how to do it. If you just could give me a meal plan with everything that I have to eat, when I have to eat it, all the calories. I said, no. First of all, no one is ever going to follow that to a T. It's just not going to happen. It's an excuse because you just don't want to put in the work. You expect somebody else, or you want somebody else to do all the groundwork for you, and then you're just going to just follow it. Not going to happen. I've actually seen that a lot, and it actually pisses me off when I see that, when someone emails me and says, hey man, can you give me a whole meal plan? Just everything I have to eat, the portions, everything. I said, what the heck? No, I'm not going to give you that. I'm not even going to charge you for that. I wouldn't even sell that to you for whatever the cost. I'm not going to put my time and energy into that, because I know for a fact that if you follow it, it's going to be for a very short amount of time. It's not going to help you. Okay? If you're looking for an easy out like that, you're not ready to put in the work. Do a little bit of digging, do a little research, figure out what kind of diet or what kind of foods you really want to focus on. Okay, figure out how many calories you need. I have plenty of free resources online to determine how many calories you need to lose weight. A lot of free resources out there. Do a little bit of homework, figure that out, plan a little bit, go shopping yourself. Don't have your wife do it and, oh shit, all we have is bologna cheese sandwiches again. Okay, I guess I have to eat that. No, just go shopping yourself. Okay, I do a lot of shopping for our family. And I know because I need those foods in the house. I mean, it's that simple. It honestly is that simple. So just think about that. Okay. Anyway, just remember, guys, I'm here to help you. I'm not here to beat you up. Some of this stuff sounds like I'm hard on you, whatever. I get frustrated seeing these excuses year after year. And I've been doing this for a long time. The excuses are always going to be there, and it's the same objections, the same conversations over and over and over. So I'm really hoping that, what I told you today kind of shakes things up. Get you thinking, get you, ready to take action, do something else. But anyway, if you need help, specific help, please email me, steve@fitdadnation.com. Again, love for you to apply to our group if you're ready to take control of your health and your life. fitdadnation.com/inner circle. I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Basecamp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.